If you follow the sport of golf at all, you've likely heard a lot of buzz around the name Will Zalatoris recently, and this is for good reason. He has great potential and could very well be one of golf's next stars.
Another sleepless night, all alone.
Hey everybody, I'm George Connolly from Scratch Golf Tips. Thanks for tuning in. We have a player profile on Will Zalatoris today. In this video, we're talking all about Will Zalatoris, where he comes from, where he is now, and where he could be. We're going to take a look at some swings in slow motion in real time. We're going to take an analysis in on those and so much more. So let's start off with where Will Zalatoris comes from. Zalatoris really made a name for himself in golf in 2014 when he won the US Junior Amateur. Now this is obviously no easy feat, and there have been a lot of excellent golfers who have won that Junior Amateur and then made a really great career of themselves professionally. Following this win, Will ended up going to Wake Forest, which is home of plenty of great golfers and a great golf program. Most notably, Arnold Palmer went there, and although Arnold never met Will personally, the two did share a relationship by writing letters and conversing with each other before Palmer's death. Now, Wake Forest plays in the ACC Conference, and in 2017, Zalatoris was named the ACC Player of the Year for men's golf that year. As anyone would, Zalatoris took a ton of confidence from winning this, and then after his junior year, he decided not to return to the school for his senior year and pursue playing golf professionally. And now, as we know, some of the greatest golfers in the world do not always have an easy time making that transition to get any type of status. Zalatoris tried to gain status on what was then the mevo.golf tour through Q School, which he failed at doing, and then tried playing Monday qualifiers to get into events. He would then get some status for the 2020-2021 Korn Ferry Tour season, where simply put, he had one of the greatest runs that tour has ever seen. Although he only had one win at TPC Colorado, let's take a look at some of these finishes because they are incredible. Zalatoris played in 16 events and made all 16 cuts, and out of those 16 made cuts, only 2 of those finishes were out of the top 25. So 14 top 25 finishes. He also had 10 top 10s and 7 top 5 finishes, as well as that one win. So 16 events and 7 finishes within the top 5 is pretty incredible. Zalatoris got into the US Open, which he played back in 2018 before he turned professional. He missed the cut there, but then playing at Winged Foot, he finished tied for 6th and really put his name on the map for the PGA Tour and the professional golf scene as a whole. Now, from that high finish in a major, Zalatoris was able to lock up some starts on the PGA Tour, where it's safe to say he's taken full advantage of them. Zalatoris has played 15 events and made 14 cuts on the PGA Tour in this season so far, and of those 14 made cuts, 11 of them are top 25s. And aside from those top 25s, Zalatoris has now secured 6 top 10 finishes, including 2 of them in majors. Zalatoris has now played 2 major championships since turning professional, and he finished tied for 6th at the US Open, great finish at a very difficult Winged Foot track, and then solo 2nd at Augusta National in the Masters, which is a tournament that a lot of newcomers, a lot of people who have not played there yet, have a very difficult time navigating not only the course, but the conditions. Conditions were tough. Zalatoris was only 1 shot off the lead when all was said and done. So those are the numbers behind where he is now. Let's talk about the swing that got him there. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that Zalatoris won the US Junior Am in 2014, so let's look at a swing from that time and then compare it to what he has now. So here is Zalatoris' swing, pretty similar, that kind of signature abbreviated upright finish there. Pretty impressive stuff. As you can see, he does stand very tall and he comes through very upright, and it's almost, some people will lean forward a little bit. He's backwards off that angle, which shows great balance, which I really like in Zalatoris' swing. Another thing that I always talk about when I look at any professional player, but Zalatoris just has great tempo. Just watching this swing a few times over, the tempo is not too slow. We've seen some players who have had success with the slow swing, or the slow backswing, like Morikawa or Sungjae M. Schauffele, but Zalatoris is right in that sweet spot and then just delivers a really powerful lower body transition through impact, because again, Zalatoris is a small guy. We often see announcers talk about Justin Thomas being the skinny guy, and over the Masters, some announcers were saying that Zalatoris makes Justin Thomas look overweight, which may be true. Zalatoris, pound for pound, is one of the most powerful golfers out there right now. Here's a swing from the Masters. This was on the par 5 second where he hit 3-wood. Now again, the video you just saw was from 2014. This video is from 2021. A lot of similarities in this swing. He has lengthened that backswing a little bit, which I like, and obviously it helps with power and distance without a doubt. But let's take a look right here. One thing that's interesting is this head level, which is something that we've seen out of a lot of skinnier golfers who don't necessarily have that natural power that, say, let me think of a bigger golfer. John Rahm, big guy. Phil Mickelson, big guy. Those guys can use their body for power. But what we see a lot of the time with these smaller, skinnier golfers is their head. You can see Zalatoris' head level here. It really does go a little bit lower than at impact. So that shows this trail arm dipping down, the head coming in to really manufacture that power. To compare Zalatoris' move to a few other golfers, this is something Justin Thomas does, who again is a skinnier golfer, not a lot of meat on those bones, but he still hits the ball far. And this is not any more prominent than a golfer as Joaquin Niemann, who has one of the most bizarre moves through impact. Very powerful, it's worked well for him. But Zalatoris' move through impact, I would compare to those two guys. A big difference between Joaquin Niemann and Will Zalatoris' swing is Zalatoris has a much more proper spine angle, which I like a lot. Niemann does have that really crazy swing. Niemann is also a young guy, but there are a lot of worries about his back and the longevity of that career, which I don't see in Will Zalatoris' swing, which is definitely positive because Zalatoris is one of those rare guys who is really young and he's on tour and having success, which could lead to just a plethora of wins and a really, really fruitful career on the PGA Tour. Let's slow the swing down and look at Zalatoris on the range from a few months ago and earlier in 2021. One thing I love is just this top of the backswing. Right before transition, you can see the 90-degree angle right there. If I were to build a golf swing, this is what I would have it look like at the top. This is absolutely perfect in my mind. Some players load up too much and they rotate that lower body too much, and then that will actually hurt their precision at impact. They won't hit, they won't center strike as much. Zalatoris does not do this, but the hands being high is something that I love. And again, I'll keep making these comparisons back to Justin Thomas, guys like Joaquin Niemann. The high hands really help. Xander Schauffele is another great example of this. The high hands in the backswing really help level out and gain a little bit of speed throughout the swing. Now, coming out of this great position, Zalatoris has that pull down through impact, which I absolutely adore. I could watch it all day long. Again, if I could build a swing, it would look like this. We've seen a few guys who kind of come over the top a little bit, and then maybe they will close the club face down a little bit or have a little bit of a shallow angle of attack, and that's how they straighten out the ball to get that draw. But Zalatoris does not do that. It's very standard. It's just a very teachable golf swing that he has. And then directly through impact, here's a very slow motion of it. We'll pause right at impact. I see a ton of parallels to Justin Thomas here. Obviously, Thomas has had a great career. The footwork is really similar in this, and the head is a little bit in front of the ball, which is very different than a few guys out on tour. Namely, it's easy to say Hideki Matsuyama, who just won the Masters tournament a few days ago as of recording this video. But Matsuyama has that head down, and that does to some extent restrict him through impact. Zalatoris is a little bit ahead of the ball, not nearly as much as a Dustin Johnson, but he's still a little bit ahead of the ball, which will free him up through impact a little bit. So that's a look at the swing. I love everything about it. Not only do I think he has great mechanics now, he had great mechanics a while ago, which can show me that this kid has it down to a science, and he's not going to be working on a bunch of swing changes, which is great, especially for someone who's getting, more accustomed to being in the mix on the professional circuit. But can this swing alone get you the type of results that Zalatoris has had on tour? No, I don't think so. And here's one thing that I think is Zalatoris' secret weapon. This kid has the mentality of a champion, and he expects so much of himself, which everyone on tour does. But if he doesn't match up to what he comes up with, then it's not the end of the world. Now, what do I mean by this? There are so many guys who are perfectionists on the golf course. Billy Horschel is the first one that comes to mind. A real perfectionist on the golf course. And if things don't go perfectly, then it really flusters guys like Billy Horschel. Siwoo Kim is another guy who has a very strong game, but in my opinion, he's one of the weakest mental players on tour, which has really prevented him from being successful and really moving up to his talent. Zalatoris is not like this at all. He expects so much of himself, but when he makes a mistake, he can very quickly learn from it, continue to expect a lot from himself, and move on to the next golf shot. If you just think of the course of Zalatoris' career, when 2 years ago he didn't have any status, and now he's playing in major championships, and as of recording this video, once again, Zalatoris doesn't even have membership on the PGA Tour. He doesn't have his card, he doesn't get FedEx points right now. So he's almost playing like, hey, I know I'm a great golfer. He earned his way onto the PGA Tour the hard way. He really had to work for it. He's got nothing to lose. He's playing fearless, confident golf that is so rare for a young golfer to exhibit. I've watched a lot of Will Zalatoris press conferences, especially the ones at the Masters. They're all on the Masters YouTube channel. And here is one little 10-second blurb that I really like, and I think it shows a lot about himself.
I think the fact that I'm frustrated that I finished second in my third major kind of says something, and the fact that I didn't let any moment really get to me.
I think he has a killer instinct. He's shown so well, especially in pressure situations. And what a lot of people on tour will say is sometimes you feel more pressure when you're working towards getting a card than once you're on tour and competing. And right now, Zalatoris has been through it all, and he's competed so well, not only on the KFT, but also on the PGA Tour. Once again, as of recording this video, he does not have membership, he does not have FedEx Cup points, nor has he actually won on the PGA Tour. However, I think it's gonna happen really soon. Probably the weakest part of Will's game right now is his putting. He does model his putting after Webb Simpson, which is it's somewhat of an arm lock look. It's not full arm lock like say a Bryson, but he does have the longer putter, which Webb actually used to adapt from the anchoring ban a few years ago. But Will's putting hasn't been absolutely dynamite, but if that continues to improve, if he finds a grip and a stance style that he really likes, I truly see this man winning many, many tournaments and majors galore. So the biggest takeaways from this video is 1, Will Zalatoris is a superstar. As of recording this video, he has not won. Maybe people will be watching this in 10 years after he's won numerous majors and dozens of tournaments. This kid has so much potential, so much upside, and I think a big part of it really is because of that mentality aspect. We see a lot of golfers who get down on themselves and hold themselves to far too high a standard. They feel like they have everything to lose. Will Zalatoris is on the complete contrary. I think it's gonna work out for him brilliantly. If we can see him really clean up that short game, really clean up the putting, as he spends more time on tour, as he gets more familiar with golf courses, we're gonna see so much success out of this young man. And I really can't wait to see his career unfold because golf does have a few great ambassadors, Jordan Spieth being one of those young guys who really took on as being the face of golf, and he did undergo his fair share of struggle, every golfer does, but Spieth is back, which is great to see, and I'm just so excited to see another young face like Will Zalatoris really just be great for the sport of golf as a whole. What do you think about Will Zalatoris? Comment down below your thoughts on him, his swing, mentality, results, whatever you have. I read all the comments on this YouTube channel, and I'd be happy to respond and have some conversation down in the description or the comment section down below. If you like the apparel that I wear in these videos, I wear John Morgan Sportswear. They're our partner of Scratch Golf Tips, and if you want 20% off your order, you can go down below in the description and use code SGT2021 at checkout, and that is a big help because we are an affiliate of them. So if you do order, it does support the Scratch Golf Tips brand in return. Thank you very much for watching this video, everybody. Play well and take care.